Hey, everybody. How's it going? Good to see so many faces in here.
Hi, everyone. So excited to be here. I am like loving all of the familiar faces. This is so much fun. It's been a minute since
I
we've had a
know.
big webinar.
We haven't done webinars in what?
Oh, 6 months,
Yeah,
a year?
Probably about
6
that.
months, maybe?
This one was important. So we're going to give you the background as to why we're doing the webinar and just how grateful we are that Chalene was willing to do this with us here in just a moment. We're going to give everybody about another 30 to 60 seconds.
30 to 60.
Easy
It's
for me to
always
say.
to speak. You guys put in the chat box where you're listening from, maybe what you hope to get out of it, where you're listening from, what you hope to get out of it. I know that we are insanely excited because whenever we listen to Chalene, we have massive takeaways.
She's literally one of the smartest people I know. She truly is. And one of the kindest and one of the best. This is not the part where we edify her yet. That's just like literally our feelings coming out about her. The other fact is this: social media is so dang important. It is I think we forget sometimes. It's free. It's literally free for you to build an audience, for you to gain engagement, and for you to promote whatever's important to you, whether it's a message, whether it's a business. It's free. And we take that for granted and we forget to build that muscle and how to be better at it. And that's exactly what tonight is going to be about.
You remember a time when it literally was like the phone book or billboards or word of mouth or advertising in
You're dating yourself.
newspapers, or you wanted to name your business name with an A or a number 1
because at the top of the phone book
came up first in the top of the phone book.
I don't know if we should let Lori date herself anymore like this.
Oh no, they don't even know.
All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, we want to make sure that we respect your time and respect Chalene's time. So we're going to get into it right away. And I want to start by edifying Chalene before we turn it over to her. Where this came from was, we're good friends with Brett and Chalene. Brett's her husband, and they have spoken at our masterminds before. Their son Brock has spoken at our masterminds before. And those are very expensive, intimate groups to be in. And when they teach such good things like lifting the curtain and telling you directly from Facebook, directly from Instagram, because they have the privilege of working with people there, what Instagram wants to see, what Facebook wants in their algorithm. And when they share that with our masterminds, it feels kind of like, God, everybody should know these things. And that's what tonight was about. First, it started with a podcast. We said, hey, Chalene, would you jump on the podcast and share some of these things? Put in the chat if you guys heard that podcast that came out last week. And on the podcast, she said, yeah, but I can't really teach the way I want on a podcast. I'm better on webinars, because on webinars, I can show what to do, what not to do. And so he said, okay, we'll do the podcast, but we'll also do the webinar for everybody. And that's how we ended up here tonight. So I'm going to mute everybody here while I continue to edify Chalene. There we go. Now, we could talk about her accolades. We could talk about the marketing genius that she is. We could talk about the tens of millions of dollars that they've created in their businesses. We could talk about the incredible mother that she is to her 2 children and how incredible they are. But what I think would truly paint the best picture of why Chalene is so special is she has something she calls her personal policies. And if you guys haven't heard these before, it's everything you need to know about her. I'm going to read some of them to you. The first one is God is in everything that she does. The second one is she doesn't do anything for money. It has to make her happy. Another one is she makes decisions by asking, will this bring me peace? Family comes first, period. And I've seen them walk that. She says, beware, I can spot a phony networking and a phony opportunist from a mile away, and she won't interact with them. Her ADHD is her superpower, and she empowers so many people to just be like, hey, whatever I think is holding me back, I'm going to turn that into my superpower. And it's almost impossible to offend her. That's what I think I like the best about her.
Okay, I love her because she is also a fellow Michigan girl. So anyone from the Midwest, what's up? But I will say love being on the coast now. But yeah, love that fact. And also, she's such an amazing teacher. There are some teachers that are incredible, but I don't necessarily walk away feeling empowered and ready to implement. And I promise you, you're going to get massive takeaways that you can start doing tonight that will start making a difference. Because that is what happens every single time we talk to her. It's what happened from the podcast that we did together. And I also just love how real and raw she is and how she shows us how to incorporate those parts of our life that maybe we're like, oh, this is a part of myself that I typically hide, or I don't show within my business, or I don't show on social media, but it's totally us. You know what I'm talking about? Raise your hand if there's a part of you that you'd like to start showing more that you don't really show yet. And it's like, God, I would love to like be able to incorporate who I really am into my like business and life and all of those things. So she is a perfect, incredible, amazing example of that. So I just can't wait for you guys to sit back and soak in all of the goodness. She's such an incredible energy as well. So Chalene, are you here?
There, I was just like really, really enjoying this. Like I felt like it was a eulogy for a second there. Like, that was
Let's hope not.
amazing. I recorded it for my mom and dad. That was unbelievable. Thanks. I'm like, I don't know. That's a tough introduction to live up to. But I love the Michigan part, and I love that you said I mean, there's things that like I'm like, how did they remember that? That you literally can't offend me.
Mm-mm.
And also, yeah, my kids are kind of everything. And also, I can spot a freaking phony from a mile away. And I do not understand why the rest of the world cannot do that. Like, it drives me freaking crazy. But, anyways, hi.
How are you? So good to
Hi.
see you. Thank you for doing this. It means the world.
Thanks. You know, like I was saying in the podcast, there's so many things that it's frustrating. Like, I do podcasting. But sometimes there's like things that's like, it's so frustrating because I want to show people what I mean. Because I'm a very visual person. Like, even when someone's talking, I have to think what they're saying in pictures.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited to do this.
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you take it away from here, and
Okay.
we'll be here. We don't want to interrupt at all, but
Okay.
you rock your greatness, and we'll be here for any moments that you need us.
Okay. Don't leave me yet. I want to make sure I can share my screen. This is the part that always scares me. This is the part where I
Doesn't
wish
matter
a
how long I do this.
teenager. I
Yes.
know, right? Oh, see, of course it says open system preferences. Okay, Zoom. And now I have to enter my password. Dang it. Yeah, this is the part where I always wish I had a teenager nearby to help me.
Okay,
They
we're
grew
gonna
up too quick.
we're gonna give you a hot second, and we're just gonna ask questions to the people. Power to the
Okay,
people.
because it tells me I have to quit and rejoin. So I'll be right
Okay,
back.
No
come on
problem.
in. Okay, so
This is a chance for them to network.
yeah.
So here's what I would do. I would drop in comments where you're from, what you do, and one ask you have of the group, because you don't know who might see that and be able to collaborate with you.
Oh, that's interesting. I like this one.
I mean, how many people have we met?
Maybe
Virtual
like, who
events?
do you need or what do you need? That's really good
Yeah,
too.
like if you don't ask for it, you don't get it.
Is that Mel I see on here? I
It
see
is
so
Mel.
many great faces. I love it. That's awesome. I get to see Mel in Austin at Brendan Burchard's event coming up.
God, we fly out tomorrow.
We fly out
That didn't even
tomorrow.
register till
I
right now.
haven't packed yet.
Me neither.
Could you pull up the comments so I can see more?
Absolutely.
Seymour. I lived in Seymour, Wisconsin
You
for
did.
6 months. Okay, there we go. Oh, there she is. Here we go. And she's like, oh my God, my texts are on here. This is what I love is that literally this happens to every person, I swear. Okay,
Yep.
there she is. She's coming. Do we hear her?
Yeah, let me just double check here. Sorry for all of the buildup, guys.
Nope, this just shows literally welcome
Here we
to
go.
being
All I
on
gotta do is
tech
just get her unmute.
24/7.
There we go. You should be able to unmute now, Shalene.
Oh, do you know how much my husband wishes he had a mute button and that I could not unmute? That would be his like dream come true. Okay, so let me fly through this. So thank you for that amazing introduction. I just want, for those of you who I have never, maybe you've never done one of my trainings before, you've never done anything where I've taught you either business or social media, will you drop a number 1 in the chat for me? Okay, that's super helpful. So just to give you a little bit of background, because that was a great introduction. I do appreciate it. And I don't want to spend like too much time talking about like my stuff or whatever, but I'm old, relatively speaking. And I only say that so that if like you're 30 and have little kids at home and you're like, oh my God, I haven't done enough with my life yet. Yes, you have. You've done plenty. I've been doing this a really long time. I've been in business for 30 years. I've been coaching entrepreneurs for more than 20. My husband and I have, the most important thing we've ever done is together we've created two amazing human beings that are kind and thoughtful and self-sufficient and confident and funny and good dancers. But in addition to that, we've also created, let's see, 8 different businesses in 7 different industries, and all multi-million dollar businesses. You know, the first one wasn't, but like once you figure out how to make $1 million, like then it's just like rinse and repeat, and you can just pick the thing that you're most excited about or most passionate about. And so we've done physical products, I've done digital products, I've had a New York Times best-selling book, I've licensed my intellectual property, I've licensed my IP, I've licensed courses that I've created, I've been a brand ambassador, I've sold, like I said, digital products, physical products, just about anything you can think, and I've sold cars. And speaking of yellow pages, my business was called the All Michigan Auto Swap Meet. And the reason why I named it that is because of the A's. So I was thinking about marketing even when I was a 19-year-old at Michigan State, and there was no internet. The way that I got the word out about my business is I put on a pair of roller skates and I made flyers at Kinko's, and I made the flyers, and then I would go to Myers Thrifty Acres and I would roller skate through the parking lot and put the flyers under people's windshields because there was no social media. So like when people are like upset because they only got 50 people looking at their content, I'm like, but dude, you did nothing. Like, I mean, you were at home. You weren't getting scuffed up knees on roller skates and then getting yelled at by the manager to go pick up all those flyers. So I just want you to know that like, it's not as easy as what people make it sound like it is, but if you understand the algorithm, and if you have your business basics in place, then this is much easier than what you think. And so here's what you can expect tonight. I'm going to share with you 2023 selling strategies because it has changed a lot, even in just the last month. So give me a number 1 if lately you've been feeling like a little discouraged by social media because you're like, what, am I going backwards? What is going on? Why aren't people looking at my stuff? It feels like there's a drought or a recession going on with social media. And so I think everyone feels like that. So I'm going to give you massive value, but I have a very quick delivery. And so that's why you're encouraged to take screenshots if you want. And I want you to hold questions to the end. And I'm actually going to this is really, really important to me because I always love it when people are like, okay, here's how you do it. And I'm like, but show me. Give me an example that's not you. That's what I want. So I'm going to give you those from my students. And I'm also going to share with you the thing that I think a lot of people on social media don't teach, because you're all smart enough to realize that it's not just like, let me get a big following or let me get a bunch of followers and figure out like what hashtags I need to say. That drives me friggin' crazy. People will BS you and tell you that's what you need, but that is not how people are making money using social media. The social media is kind of like the frosting on top, but there's so much more to this. So I'm going to kind of give you the frosting tonight. And I'm assuming that you've got your back-end business systems in place. But if you don't, I'm at the very end, for those of you who are like, I don't know my niche. I don't have an email list. I don't have any way to track my viewers or customers. I don't have any way to target my people. I don't have any way of creating passive income, and I need to know those things. I'll talk about that at the very end, but my promise to Lori and Chris was to teach you like how people are monetizing on social media. But I don't feel like I'm being genuine or authentic if I'm not honest in saying, but all of these things are kind of like, they only really, really work if you've, and by really work, I mean, to create sustainable income that doesn't make you a slave to social media. Okay. Yes, you can make money on social media if you want to be a slave to it, but if you want to be sustainable and scalable, and we talk about the figures that we're going to talk about tonight, and if you want to be able to take a break from social media, if you don't want to have to worry about social media, then you need to have all those business basics in place. Okay. But we'll talk about that at the end. Okay. So can we all agree that in order to monetize, you have to figure out what you're selling? Like you're either selling you, right? Or you're selling something, or, for some people, it's like they can just sell their influence, right? But the thing is with selling is nobody likes selling. Like we all freak out about selling, which is weird to me because we freaking love to buy. Am I right? I do. I know Lori does. Actually, I'm pretty sure Chris likes to buy big ticket items like RVs and things and cars. Lori's over there just like shopping at Revolve. But like so drop a 5 if you're like, I love to shop, perhaps a little bit more than I like to, right? I think we all like to buy things. So let's talk about the top 5 reasons why people like to buy, because this is going to really help you when you're thinking about like, how do I monetize on social media? You got to be thinking about these things. Is the thing that I'm showing people, is it going to save time? Is it going to either save them money or make them money, right? Is it going to help them avoid pain or some type of a loss? Like sometimes it's, just missing out. Is it going to like transform them in some way or improve their lives? Or does it just make you feel good? Like I have to admit, like a lot of things that I'm tempted to buy when I am distracting myself are things that just make me feel good. Like makeup or clothing, like those things, they just make me feel good. They don't save me time. They don't, make me avoid pain. They just make me feel good. And so that's not a bad reason why. So of all these reasons, for those of you who've already figured out what it is you're selling, what it is you have to offer, what it is you have to market, why is it people buy that thing from you? Okay, so put that in the comments for me. Awesome. This is great. Oh, I love it. I am so excited. We have so many interactive people on right now. It is awesome. This makes me so happy. You don't even understand. But ultimately, that's why people buy. But we also, when we are going to plop our credit card down, we also need to trust people, right? Like, especially when it comes to something like, for example, I won't buy makeup or like hair products or anything that's like a special formula from Amazon, because I don't trust Amazon for that, because there's so many dupes and fakes on there. So I trust Amazon for like certain things, but I'm not going to buy for most of the things that Amazon sells that I need to know who it's made by. I can't trust Amazon for that. So what is it that creates trust? It's familiarity, it's authenticity, right? It's credibility, integrity. Like, so are you always showing up the same way? Or every time you show up, is it like, I'm confused, like you're contradicting yourself? It is time. So think about time. Time, when we're talking about social media, is also like frequency. Like, how often am I seeing you? How long have I been following you? If one of the crazy things about, like, so I've done a lot of infomercials too. I'm fortunate enough to have had a few #1 infomercials, and people are making a massive buying decision after watching a 30-minute program, really. And the only reason why that really, really works so well, when people used to channel surf, is because of video. Because video speeds up the process of getting to know someone. And that's because we use all of our senses. You're listening to my voice, you're watching my facial expressions, you're watching my mannerisms, you're looking at my eyes, you're looking at even like some of my features to say, like, is there a familiar face there? Like, do I trust this person? And so video, i.e. social media, speeds up the time factor by a lot. So when you want to get to know someone in person, right? Like, let's just say someone just, you sat down next to somebody and you're stuck next to them on a flight and you want to get to know them. How is it? Tell me in the chat, like, what do you do to get to know someone? Oh, I gotta move your chat over. Can I move this over? Yeah. Okay, good. Yes. You're asking them questions. That's right. You're, you're observing them too, but you're really asking them questions. Okay. Now this is huge. This is human psychology. Okay. Because what I'm going to share with you tonight isn't just how to monetize your social, or this afternoon, if you're watching the replay. I'm going to also help you, because they kind of go hand in hand. Follow me on this. I'm also going to help you how to understand how you've got to get more people engaged with your social. Because if it's crickets, if people aren't actually writing you comments or interacting with your content, no one's going to see it. No one wants a monologue. We want people to interact. Okay. So that's really important. But the way we do that is by curiosity. Curiosity. Curiosity makes us ask questions. Okay. And what most people, and this is the big difference in 2022, even 2021, what type of, everyone told you to create a valuable post. Am I right or am I right? Like your content must be valuable. And so we took that to mean give people all the information they could possibly need. So if you did a recipe, you shared all the ingredients below in your caption, you wrote out exactly how to prepare it. Then you posted a video and showed people how to do it. You told people where to buy it, exact measurements. You gave them everything. When I have everything, do I need to ask you any questions? True story. This is a true story. So I'm staying in Miami, Florida right now. And I ran into this girl on the street. She's like, oh my God, I have to stop you. I listened to your podcast. I'm a fan and I've been listening for years. I know everything about you. And I also have a podcast and I kind of do what you do. And anyway, she was darling and we got to chatting and I really liked her. And she's like, I'd love to, and don't think I'm a weirdo, but like, I'd love to invite you over and, just tell you some places you can shop here in Miami, etc. So anyways, my husband and I went and had dinner with her and her husband. And what was crazy is she didn't ask me one question the whole night. And it's kind of awkward. Do you know what I mean? Because I was asking her all these questions, but I'm like, our favorite topic is ourselves, right? So if you're like, it's like a whole night of like, do I ever get to talk about me? I'm just being honest, right? I'm like, she didn't ask me like one friggin' question. And then afterwards I realized, I'm like, she didn't ask me a question. She knows, like I spill my life on my podcast. So it wasn't that she wasn't being rude. I left nothing to the imagination. She wasn't curious about anything. So when you're making your post, when you include, it wasn't selfish. I know I thought that too until I thought about it. I'm like, wait, she already knows everything. So it would have been fake if she was like, so how old are your kids? She already knows. You know what I mean? She was being authentic. So when you're making your posts, follow me for a second. You're giving too much information away. I don't need to ask you any questions. You want to get people to ask you questions. And the way we do that is by not fire hosing all the information. Drop a comment, let me know if that makes sense to you. Okay, yes, yeah, right, okay. That's a major brain shift right there in 2023. That is a major difference. So that's something I need you to start thinking about in your post. Like go ahead and write your caption, but then you got to ask yourself, like, what can I take out of this? Because when people are curious, then they ask questions. What is questions? Questions are engagement. What does engagement do? Engagement gets your content out to more people. Engagement makes your content show up to the people who are already following you. If I'm following you, but I'm never engaging with your post, I'm never going to see your posts. You follow tens, some of you 100,000, not 100,000, you have 100, 200, 500, maybe 1,000 people, but you're only interacting with maybe 8 to 15, but you're following 1,000 people. So how do you become the 8, right? You become the 8 when the algorithm says, oh, they interact. So people, and the algorithm doesn't see you as viewing content as interacting. It's got to be a conversation. It's got to be a dialogue. It's got to be clicking on buttons. It's got to be conversations, and conversations lead us to have familiarity. Familiarity makes us realize, oh, okay, I can trust this person because I'm gathering information. I'm gathering data points, and I can't buy from you until I trust you. Does that make sense? Yes? Beautiful. Okay. So pop quiz, if we're talking about getting to know someone on social, I'm gonna see what your answers are here. Where do people get to know you? On your stories or on your feed? How did you guys all know it was stories? How did you know it was all y'all know? Oh, because you listened to the podcast. Friggin' smartest group I've ever done a webinar for. And I'm not just saying that so far. I mean, don't disappoint me. You've set the bar high. Can you maintain that? I hope so. Yeah, stories. I feel like we listen to the podcast, we take notes. I love it so much. Okay, yeah. So it's in stories, because stories can be everything and they should be everything. Your feed post needs to be niche. Okay. It is definitely harder to get people to know you on your feed post, but it's possible. And I'm going to give you specific examples in this presentation. Okay. So let's go back. Let me share my screen again, and I'm going to show you some things that are not working in 2023. Are you excited to see some? You know what? I'm about to show you what's not working, but I'll bet you $1 million you already know this because you're experiencing it. Click the link in my bio. It does not work in 2023. I mean, it does, but not well. In fact, I use it when I'm being lazy, if I'm being honest. Here's why. Okay. As soon as you put a link in the bio, and this isn't Instagram working or TikTok or even Facebook working against you, but as soon as you put a link in your bio, what you're asking people to do is click on to leave wherever they're watching you and to go somewhere else on the most distracting platform on the planet. I don't know about you, but by the time I go to click back to their profile, I'm already seeing somebody else's story and I'm over it, right? So that automatically gets a 50%. When you say click the link in my bio, your post is going to get 50% lower engagement, because not because Instagram is working against you, but because Instagram just follows our lead and we don't engage with links. So that means you get a 0.7, this is statistically from Instagram, get a 0.7% click rate. There's no way to follow up. So it's like it's worse than leaving a flyer on somebody's windshield. Because when I put a flyer on somebody's windshield, I had no idea if they were like kind of interested or not. So when you send someone to the link in your bio, you have no way of following up to say like, hey, did you find what you were looking for? Can I answer any questions? Do you want to schedule a call? Do you want to, can I get you some information about the right product for you? Like there's zero follow-up. And so when there's zero dialogue, it's like I'm sending you away. I'm like, go away, go to my store, bye. Right? So there's no relationship whatsoever. The other thing that a lot of people do is click the link in the numbers. I got to show you the numbers before I move on to the next example so that you really understand what we're talking about. So these numbers are based on if you have 1,000 followers on average, middle of the road average, you're getting a 9.34% reach. Listen to me. If you have more than 1,000 followers, your reach is lower. The more followers you have, the lower your reach. It's just how it works. God is fair. So that means 93 people, right? So if 93 people normally see your post, but you've just used a link in bio, now 33% less are going to see it. So now we're down to 62 people possibly are seeing it, right? Now we're talking about a click rate of a 0.7%. 0.7% of people are clicking the link in your bio. So that means you've got less than one click. And we're wondering why we're not getting sales. Okay, here's the other thing. Wait a second. Did that blow your mind? Or were you like, no wonder, right? Okay. So then everyone was waiting to get like their 10,000 followers so they could get the sticker that was a link. For a long time, you had to have 10,000 followers. I don't know why they did that, but now everybody has the sticker link, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. The reason why it's a bad thing is because people went bonkers with it, like insane. And so now whenever we see that, we're like, oh, I'm being sold to. So what do you think has happened? All the same things. You get 40% fewer views on your next story. I did it today just as a test. Absolutely. 40%. Actually, I think it was more like 47% for me. 47% fewer views for the next, not just the next story, the next like 5 stories versus what I got the day before. There's a 1% click rate, so it's a little bit better, not much. I have no way of knowing who clicked it. I have no way of knowing if the link was broken, and I have no relationship. Okay, so now let's look at the numbers. So again, if I have 1,000 followers and I'm getting, this is high, a 4.8% reach would be 48 views. But I'm going to get 40% less. So now I'm talking about 29 views, right? And I'm getting a 1% click rate. So we're again a 0.29% click. So does this explain a lot? Does this explain like, okay, so this is why I haven't been able to sell or to monetize with my social? And if you're wondering like, okay, so what does work? I'm glad you asked, because what works in 2023, and this started happening in 2022, is just stop selling and start showing up all the time. So I know we have a lot of ladies and fellas on here too, but I find that the ladies really do shop a lot on Instagram. So I'm curious, how many of you follow someone who is always showing like cool things you could buy, like not stuff they sell, but they're like, look at this, I found this gadget, like this is how I organize my cupboards, like this, and like you love watching their content because they save you time. They save you time because you trust them. So you're like, I don't have to research it. Like there's this one gal that I follow, I can't think of her name right now, but she is like a home organization person. And I'm like, if she makes me buy one more stupid, like, but everything she shows me, I'm like, it does work, but do I really need another one? Like everything she shows me, I'm like, I need a way to organize all of my empty toothpaste tubes, like just the dumbest things. I'm like, why am I buying this? But like everything is so, like, why am I taking all of my pods out of the Tide box and putting them in a clear glass jar? Why am I doing this? Because she does it and I trust her and it looks beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So I know we all have people who are like that, but the deal is you've got to start showing up. If you really like want to stop feeling salesy, then you got to share stuff that just makes your life better. Does that make sense? All the time, on and off brand, on and off niche, because you want to be people's trusted friend. And when you go over to your friend's house, even though they work, let's say in medical sales, when you go and see them, they're not like, hey, I got to tell you about this latest machine. They don't do that. They tell you, they're like, oh, okay, so guess what? We found this wine bottle opener. Your friends are going to tell you things that like, okay, you got to get this. This makes my life so much better. Morgan says, wait, so if you're saying I have a link in your bio automatically shows your stuff to less people? No, I'm saying that when you create a post that says, hit the link in my bio, that's when it shows your content to fewer people. That piece of content will get shown to fewer people. Alyssa said it perfectly. So this means just like be real. Yeah. Where though? Stories or feed? Pop quiz. Stories or feed? Yeah. Leah said, oh, this is okay. Leah, will you answer? Are you on a moving treadmill or something, girl? Okay. Cause I'm like, you are either ants in your pants or you are walking. Okay. So Leah, how do your podcast posts do? Poorly? I'm going to predict that they do very poorly. Yeah, mine do too. That's why you'll never see me post about, do you hear me? Never post, because no one, guys, I hate to be the one to break the news to you. No one freaking cares about your great stuff. No one cares how great your book is. No one cares how awesome your podcast is. No one cares unless it makes their life better. And I know you think your podcast does make people's lives better, but people feel like it's self-promotion. And you know what Instagram hates? Self-promotion. Do you hate self-promotion? Do you hate it when people post stuff that's self-promoting? Just be honest. We hate it. It's like, you better entertain me. You better give me something real quick right now that makes my life better or makes me curious. But no one cares. Listen, stop posting, here's me out to dinner with my best friend. No one cares anymore. We don't care. We don't have time. We want to watch less content. We want to consume less. Am I right? Don't you want to consume less? I know this is painful, but you've got to think about what you're posting. Not about what you wanted to see in 2015, but what you want to see today. And you don't care who so-and-so went out to dinner with. You don't care whose conference so-and-so just went to. You don't care. You don't care. I don't care. You don't care. Because we don't have time. Because we have so much already to look at. We're like, no, less. It has to like entertain my pants off or be super valuable and entertaining. Okay. So, I mean, that's just the truth. I can't lie to you. So these people are like telling you to just create more valuable posts. No. So what do? You got to stop selling. You got to stop selling and you got to start sharing things in your stories. That's where this stuff is happening. I'm going to give you specific templates. You're going to start taking screenshots because this stuff friggin' works. Last year, true story, I didn't grow my followers because I didn't focus on it. I already have 770,000 followers. Why would I need one more when I don't even know a tenth of them? Why would I even need one more new person when I have all these people who my job is to get to know them better? So I went deep on my stories. My son, however, decided to go deep on attracting new people. And you don't have to necessarily grow your following. If you've got over 200 people, my recommendation to you is to focus on letting people get to know you and then creating curiosity in your feed posts that are on niche. Niche is everything. Here's the template. All right. So the first thing you want to do is identify a problem. Let's see if this has a video that plays. No. So here I just asked, do you do this? So I asked people, when you are like putting away your clothes, it's a leggings thing for me. And I have ADHD. So if I can't see something, I don't own it and I'm going to buy it again. So when I put my clothes away, if I can't see everything I own, I'm going to buy another pair of pink tights, pink leggings, right? So I ask people, do you guys have, so I'm asking my audience, do you have this problem? That I'm respecting those people who are like, no, I don't have that problem, Chalene. That's a you thing. But I'm also like tapping into those people like, no, I totally have that problem. And then the second story you're going to post is relating to it. When I put something away in a drawer, if there's anything on top of that thing, it's as if I don't have it. I will buy it again, or I will never wear it again. Just double checking. Can you hear this? Okay, good. Awesome. Okay, so people are like, yep, that's me. Okay, good. But there's some people they're like, no, that I don't have that issue. That's fine. Here's another thing. Don't put, you guys, my pet peeve is when people put up polls that say yes or yes. Toxic positivity much, ignoring what I really believe much, not wanting to hear my true answer much. Like, don't do that. Give people the option to say like, no, I disagree with you. Okay, then the third thing you're going to do is show people the thing. Remember, this isn't something I sell. This is just me being a normal human being. Like I would show my girlfriend this when she comes over. Okay, so then you're going to show them what your solution is. Okay, here's my solution. So I bought these towel racks. I stacked one on top of the other. It allows me to quickly put my leggings away without having to fold them. I can see all the colors. I can see what I've worn recently, what I have more of, what colors I don't need to buy more of because I have enough already. For bra tops, same thing. Like I don't have to fold them. I can see what colors I have. I just put them on these towel racks. It's in my Amazon store, but hope that helps. Okay. I'm just being helpful. Now, instead of using a link, I told people to comment a word. That way, you have to tell people what to comment. Now, there are programs you can use that are integrated with Instagram that allow you to do this. But if you have a small enough account, if you have like less than, say, I don't know, 10,000 followers, you don't even need to use that. You can sort through people who've made this comment yourself by using the search feature at the top of your DMs. Just search for anyone who typed in shop Amazon. Then you just do a copy and paste of the link, but not just the link, a conversation. You can say, hey, thanks for asking. I'm just curious. Are you thinking about using these towel racks the same way? Like, I don't sell towel racks, but I'm sharing helpful information so that people are, here's what I'm doing. I'm getting people used to the fact that I'm the girl you can trust to make your life better, easier. That I'm gonna, if I believe in it and it makes things easier for me, I'm gonna share it. So now I'm training people to know that they can trust me. Someone said, I did not know I was going to get a closet solution tonight. Bonus. I think it's pretty smart. I really do too, if I do say so myself. Yeah, so you can get them on Amazon. So if you go to my Instagram right now, true story, go to my Instagram at Chalene Johnson, and you go to my DMs and you just type the word shop Amazon, you'll get a reply right now because I am using a third-party integration so that I don't have to do this myself. It's all automated. Pretty freaking cool. No, you don't need to use hashtags. No, you don't need to use keywords. The algorithm picks up on all that. I mean, you can use hashtags, you just don't need to. It's kind of a waste of time. Okay, so people comment that word, and then I can send them a quick reply with the link. Would you like another story template? Wait, did you take a screenshot? Here's the 5-story template. Screenshot it. Okay, going once, going twice, going 3 times. Here we go. 3-story template. Here we go. 3-story template is I first start by identifying a problem. Notice that I always am using a pull sticker. A pull sticker creates engagement, physical engagement. And remember, we want people to not just watch our content. It's not a monologue. They've got to engage with it. So they either have to leave me a comment or tap on a sticker. And you'll notice in like, I'd say 80% of my content on stories, I'm giving people something to do. People love to tap stickers. All right, so here we go. Go girl, talk. If you have a smaller following and you're active on Instagram and you would like to know how it is people are getting these brand deals, like people with under 1,000 followers getting a brand deal with Kate Spade, like how are people doing that? Let me know if that's something you're interested in learning more about. Okay, so now I'm allowing people who are not interested to tap on by. But those people who are interested, now I'm going to teach them a few facts. Okay, number 1, brands are not going to reach out to you. You need to reach out to them. Number 2, you need to have all of your things in order before you reach out to them. Number 3, you need to know how to write the appropriate pitch letter and who to pitch to. And there's a few other. Okay, so then the number 3 thing is, again, I'm going to give them a specific word to comment. Right? So we'll just play that. There's a few other really important things that you need to know how to do because a lot of people are doing this. So you have to know how to do it the right way so you can stand out. If that's something you would like to learn how to do, I'm going to do a free workshop on Thursday. Send me the word deals and I will send you an invitation. It's free. All right. So drop a number 1 if you're like, okay, this is really cool on stories. Can you show me some examples of how I would do this in my feed, right? In my feed, like using reels. Okay. Awesome. I'm glad you guys want to see that, but I just want to reiterate, if you're going to post something to your feed, it really needs to be on niche. If you're trying to grow, if you're not trying to grow, if you're not like, I don't post on niche. So if you look at my content, you're going to be like, wait a second, what's your niche? I'm not trying to grow my account. I have plenty of people. I'm trying to get to know my account. I'm trying to get to know my people. But if you're like, I need more followers, you have to stay on niche, and we're not going to argue about this. I'm going to send you to your room without dinner if you're going to argue. If you need to grow your account, you need to have a niche. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like on your feed. So first, here's an example of someone who didn't give you all the information. Watch the curiosity that's created. Students, and she sells a journal that's specifically for Jewish women. And you'll notice she didn't tell you what she was doing. She didn't tell you what she was writing in. She didn't tell you where to buy it. She didn't tell you how much it cost. She did not answer those questions. Because of that, she got tons of questions and generated over $300 in sales in just one day. This is her first time. In the past, what she was doing was the opposite, is giving people all the information. Okay, here's another example of what an artist can do. This is kind of like behind the scenes. Again, creating, storytelling. This is very entertaining, and there's still some curiosity there. Let's see if we can play that.
This past summer, when I was at my first art show, I was wearing some jeans that I painted a mountain landscape on. At the art show, a guy came up to me and asked about my painted pants, and then asked if I could paint on some of his pants. So after emailing back and forth about the design, here's the painting on some pants.
Right? Like, okay, so when I see that, what I think is, I want her to paint on my pants. How much does it cost to have her paint on my pants, right? And she didn't say I charged him X amount of dollars, or, I mean, I have so many questions. Like, wait, did she paint on them while he was in them? Like, did he send her the pants? Like, I have so many questions that she didn't answer. It gives me goosebumps. See what I'm saying? Stop giving people, like, it's just like dating. If you tell them everything about you, if you show up naked, there's nothing left to the imagination. You got to leave some curiosity. Like, right? Isn't this stuff interesting? Isn't it interesting? Okay. Let me see if I have one more example. Are you liking these examples? Awesome. Yes. Nice. Okay. Let's see if we can find another one. This one? Yeah.
If you want to burn stored body fat, you've got to let insulin levels fall. When the hormone insulin is high, the liver is told to store fat and energy. When insulin levels are low, the liver is forced to burn stored fat and energy. This is why I teach a low insulin lifestyle. If you want to learn how to live a low insulin lifestyle, just comment the word guides below or message me the word guides and I'll get you my 2 free starting guides.
Okay. You guys, I don't know if you can see this on the screen. She got over 1,000 people from this one post requesting her guide. So that's 1,000 people that she added to her email list. But more than that, it's 1,000 people she had a conversation with. That's so different than sending 1,000 people to a random link. People become endeared to us when we have a conversation with them. And now I can follow up. There is an automation tool for comments, yes. And I recommend, it's not something you need to invest in immediately. But I will share for that young lady, after she did that post, she was like, okay. It took me like 6 days to get back to everybody. After that, she bought an automation tool. So the one that I recommend is called ManyChat, ManyChat, ManyChat. I'm not sure if they have a free version, but it's really affordable. And it is also API approved with Instagram. They partner with Instagram. It's pretty remarkable. So for those of you who, want the Amazon link, for my Amazon favorites link, that's what I use ManyChat. And it's amazing for so many reasons, you guys, because again, even if you're not using it to send people a link, if you just listen to me, just tell people what to comment. And it's one less decision I have to make. Even if you post something, you're like, comment the phrase, I agree or I disagree. People are like, oh, thank you. We don't have time to think about what am I supposed to do? And so we don't. But when we tell people to do that, then they do. But the bottom line is this, you guys, social media is not a business. It's the frosting on top. And I know so many people who end up thinking they're building a business because all they do is focus on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. All day long, they're like, what should I post? I got to come up with a post. I've got to write a caption. It's got to be something cute. And they'll spend 3 and 4 hours trying to come up with a great post. Drop a 1 if you've been there. Or it's on your mind all day long. But it's interesting, those same people don't have a freaking email list, don't have a website, don't have a way to track if a customer has visited their website and to follow up with them. Those same people don't have an email sequence. They don't have a sales page. They don't have a plan. They don't have a customer journey. I'm like, why are we, it's making me so mad that social media has robbed entrepreneurs of the foundation that makes you an entrepreneur. And I'm so grateful that I had those things in place before social media was actually a thing, because I understand how to teach other people the stuff that's boring, that doesn't give us a dopamine hit, but it gives you the life that you deserve. What you don't deserve is to be tortured by stupid social media. It's a bonus. It makes life a little bit easier. Maybe a lot easier. But if you don't have if you don't know your niche, and then guess what? Saying I'm in health and fitness is not a niche. That's an industry. I help women to feel empowered. That's not a niche. That's a very generic state that means nothing. I help women to look and feel their best. Means dick. I mean, it means nothing, you guys. Sorry. These things, they don't mean anything. Your niche is, who specifically do you help? I help easily distracted, wannabe entrepreneurs figure out how to get their brains focused and do the right things in the right order and stop screwing around. Stop thinking you need to launch your podcast. You don't even have a website. What are you doing? Why are you wasting this money in this time? What are you doing? What are you doing spending 20 hours a week scrolling social media? You don't have anything set up. You don't have an email list. You don't have a CRM. You don't know your open rate. You don't know your click-through rate. You don't have a Shopify. You ain't got nothing. You know what you got? You got borrowed time on Instagram. Sorry, but I got to drop some truth bombs because I am your bigger, bossy, older sister. And I am so sick of people thinking that that is a business. No, that's a rat race. That is a rat race. Yeah, you need social media. Yeah, it's super duper helpful, but not until you have all these other things in place. Not until you truly know, very specifically. I help Black women who are suffering from postpartum depression and they're single. Like that specific of a niche. Like so specific that people are like, how are you in my brain? Like, how are you me right now? Like that's who I help. Okay. That's you need to be so specific about your niche that you're very nervous that you're leaving people out. And you need to have all these things in place. Okay. So everything that I've taught you today, I just have to say that this stuff all works, but I don't want you to get caught up in the entrepreneur's trap where you're like, I did this for freedom, and that you're not free. You're working 80 hours a week and you're a slave to social media. I can't tell you how many people I've met in just the last, like this has been my thing lately. I've been asking people, when was the last time you took a full social media fast? Like didn't post, didn't consume. Like when was the last time you took 7 days off? Most people say either I never have or I can't. But until you lose your account, and that's when people are like, man, wait, I didn't realize I could lose my account. Wait, so I just get a warning. I don't even get a warning. I just get a note. This has happened to so many people. They just wake up one day and they get an email that says, your last post has violated our community guidelines. Your account has been suspended indefinitely. And if you don't have, what do you have if you don't have that? Okay, so my goal was to answer, to walk you through this process, but also to give you some tough love and say, take 7 days off and get these pieces in place. What would happen if you took 7 days? What would happen if you took 7 days and slowed down to speed up, to build your foundation, to finally get your things in order, to finally understand, like, oh my God, because I'm telling you, you can't have clarity when you're so clouded by notifications and this constant feeling that I have to consume and post. So I like to give you permission, not just permission, but like, I want to encourage you. I want to motivate you to do this for you. Set up your business the right way. If you don't have every single day, I add thousands and thousands of people to my email list, and listen to what I'm about to say. And Lori and Chris will tell you that this is true. I know how much somebody makes by the size of their email list. You got a small email list, you got a small bank account. It's truth. How do I build my email list? By knowing how to create content that people like, I want to go deeper. Listen, every single one of you are here today, not because you clicked directly from Instagram. Every single one of you got an email from Chris and Lori. Am I right? Every single one of you. Every one of you raise your hand. You said, I'm not just here to see what cute outfit Lori's wearing today. I'm here because like, I want to go somewhere. I want a different life. I want to go deeper. I want to go to the next level. So here's my email address. Give me the information. I'm a student. I have a pen and a notebook and I'm taking notes. Tell me how to freaking do this. And you're above average, because there's a whole bunch of people who are just watching their content because they think they're cute and they like their dog. But there's a small percentage of people who are like, no. That's great for them. I don't really care. I want to know how to do this stuff. Someone just said, I hate email. I know you do, Kayla, but you wouldn't be here if you didn't open the email that gave you this link. You hate email. It's a waste of time. You love email that gives you something. Kayla, was this useful to you? Have you already learned so much for free? Yeah, of course. So we do like email when we know how to, for those of us who know how to serve our audience in such a way where it's like, listen, I know how to take care of I know what my people want. I'm not going to send them stuff they don't want. So that's the key, man. You got to build all this stuff. And for some people, you are so easily distracted. How do I know? Because I have extreme ADHD. I was diagnosed at age 45, and my whole life suddenly made sense. But I'm glad that I didn't get the diagnosis until much later in life, because what I learned how to do was to take really, really boring stuff and simplify it and learn how to focus on what are the right steps in the right order. Because right now you're hearing people tell you you need to start a TikTok, and you need to start a Twitch, and you need to get a YouTube channel with the podcast, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. But they're not telling you the foundation, because all those things sound sexy and fun. And they really, yeah, you need to get on Lemonade. That's right. They're telling you to do all these things, but no one's telling you the really, really boring stuff. That's the truth, which is you got to have your niche. We have to know who it is you're targeting, who is your avatar. We've got to create a customer relationship management program. We've got to have freemiums. If you don't have a way to get people on your email list, what's the point of having your email list? So I want to invite those of you who, you don't know that stuff, and you need to know how to learn that stuff. Stay on with me, and I'll tell you how I help people figure that out. But if you're like, oh no, listen, I already got, you're right, Chalene, and I'm over here saying like, amen, I know this stuff, and I know it to be true, and I have those things, then I want to give you the rest of the time and say like, thank you for being here. But for those of you who are like, I need to know how to do that, I'm going to share with you how I have helped tens of thousands of people figure this out as quickly as possible. And I'm not talking about like doing like a 4-week course or whatever. No, I'm talking about like the lifetime journey of your business. Because if you tell me I can learn everything I need to know, someone who says that they can learn everything they need to know about business and marketing in like 12 weeks, you tell me someone who says that they can do that, and I will show you someone who's juggling knives, a unicorn juggling knives on a unicycle. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You've got to focus in and get your foundation set up first. All right. So for those of you who want to figure out how to do this stuff, drop a number 5 so I know who's staying with me. Awesome. Okay, cool. Excellent. I'm not going to sell you anything, but what I am going to do is explain how this stuff works, and I'm going to tell you what your options are. Because the truth is, some of you could figure this out yourself. Right? You could watch all the YouTube videos. You could go back to school. You could do all the things. What we talked about tonight was like the frosting. Social media is a frosting, and that's what most people eat. And that's what most people are obsessed with. But the fact of the matter is the frosting is like, that's only half of it. Like if you're just eating a plate of frosting, if you haven't put all the layers in place first. And for most people, they don't know where to start. They're like, okay, so should I get a website first? I should grow up my social media first, right? So I should know what I need to sell, right? Like, so no, I should start a podcast first. Like I should get a Twitch. I should get a link in my bio. I should do network marketing. There's so much. And every single year, every single month, it feels like there's like more. Oh, now it's ChatGPT. It's like all these things. And you just keep looking around and you're like distracted and you're like, I don't know what to do first. And so what I did when I had to learn these things is I went to seminar after workshop and I hired different coaches and I went to different masterminds, and every single one of them was super valuable. But then I would leave and I would be like, oh shoot, I just spent like $10,000. True story. I just spent $10,000 to go to this amazing person who's going to teach me how to become a best-selling author. And what I learned in that workshop was I need an email list. Okay. So now I got to go back and take a course on how to get an email list. And then after I learned that, then I learned, okay, the email list isn't still enough. Now you need a website. Okay. So that now like all of these things is like, is there anyone who like, where can is there a map? Is there a syllabus? Like I'm so easily distracted, and every single one of these things looks sparkly and like I want to do it. And so I'm doing all these things and I was spending all this money and I was feeling so guilty because I wasn't making money. And I want to get out of infomercials. I'm like, I want to do this online thing. I want to teach, but like, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm spending so much money. My husband is going to freaking kill me. Like he loves me, but he's going to kill me because we're not making any money. And like, I keep saying, I know. And no, it was really good. It just was, I just need to do some other things first, I guess. And I just said, like, once I figure this out, I'm going to take care of people like me who are like, can you just freaking tell me what to do, please? Stop with all the hoopla. And will you just tell me the order to do this in? Because I'm not gonna say I'm the smartest person in the world, but I follow directions. Like you tell me how to do it, I will freaking do it. Here's what I don't need. I don't need you to motivate me. I'm plenty motivated. I don't need you to clap and jump up and down on stage. That annoys the shit out of me. Like just stop it. Just tell me what to do. Please just lay out the map. And that's who I am. And so if you're someone who like needs the motivation, needs someone who's like, come on, you can do it. Like that ain't me. I'm going to say like, here it's A, B, C, do it. Okay. So that's I knew that there's a lot of people who need the motivation. There's a lot of people who don't. I wanted to serve those people who were like, I don't need the motivation. I need the steps. Please make it basic for me. Please don't give me information I don't need because my brain doesn't know what to do with it. So I created exactly that. It's basically a step-by-step system that walks you through it. And because everybody's in a different place when they start, eventually, and I've been doing this now for 12 years, eventually what I figured out is that some people already have kind of a business idea. Some don't have any clue. They're like, I just know I need to be doing something other than my job. And then there are those people like, no, I have an Etsy store. I'm just not making any money, or I'm doing something. I'm in network marketing, I'm in whatever, but I'm not making any money. So those are two different people. They start in two different places. So the first thing that people do when they work with me is they take an assessment. So we can figure out, well, where are you? Because if you have no idea what business you're going to start, then that's a completely different place that someone would start if they were already making sales online, but they were stuck. Okay. So once you take the assessment, then you know what basically what syllabus. You can call it a track. It's a fancy term, but I like to think of this as like school. Give me the syllabus. Tell me the order in which I need to do things, and don't show me the other. Listen to me. I'm not going to show you the stuff that you could be doing later because I know my girl. I know my guy. They're too easily distracted. If I show you how to podcast in the first month, you're going to start a podcast because that's a dopamine hit. You know, it's not a dopamine hit. Building an email list. You know what that is? That's a bank account hit. I'm going to give you bank account hits. And here's the other thing, because this is not a course. I took plenty of courses and I would finish try to stay focused for like 6 weeks or 12 weeks. And I'm like, okay, but now what? Or worse yet, if you lose interest in the middle of it, then you're like, okay, so what do I do now? When people work with me with the Marketing Impact Academy, listen to what I'm about to say. I want you out of there as fast as possible. I want you just following enough steps where you're like, okay, I got it. I'm going to make money. And I don't care if that for you is 5 days or 5 years. I need you out. If you are obsessed with like, I have to learn everything before I start, this is not for you. If that's your personality type, like I have to learn everything. I must be a student for 5 years before I can try this. I'm begging you not to do this because you will drive me crazy and I will pinch your head off. Okay. I can't with that because that your mom and dad did a number on you, making you think you have to be perfect. Perfection and entrepreneurship don't mix. Entrepreneurship is for people who are like, I am obsessed with failing forward and making money. I'm obsessed with making mistakes and making money. Like that's who I want to help. Okay. So that's who this is for. And it's been designed for you to get out of it as quickly as you get into it. So let me explain to you what exactly it is, the Marketing Impact Academy. Okay. This is a lifelong resource because here's the other thing I know. I can teach you all the basics of how to set up your business, but then you're going to be like, okay, but now I am ready to start my podcast and I don't want you to spend another dime. I don't want one more snake oil salesman to say, okay, now here's this $2,000 course to start your podcast. No, No, I wanted this to be an academy. So it's like when you want to learn the next thing, you come back in. It's you get a lifetime membership, but you're not meant to finish the whole thing. Does that make sense? Because some of you will never ever need to do a podcast or to do a webinar. You customize your journey, because not two entrepreneurs aren't ever going to do the same thing. And it's community, because you get the best ideas, the best information, the best words, the best copy, the best ideas for pricing when you have other people who like aren't you. You're too close to your thing. But when you have community who's like, girl, duh, you need to be doing XYZ, you're like, that's what I needed. And most of your friends think you're a weirdo. They don't even understand the way your brain works. They don't understand you. They don't even understand that right now you're geeking out on this stuff. They can't relate. You need people who can relate. So this isn't a course. What I just realized didn't exist. So I'm like, I'm going to create that, because this is what I wanted. I wanted a syllabus. I wanted the steps. I wanted a plan. I wanted a map. I wanted someone to keep me focused. I want someone who's not going to tell me all the things I don't need to worry about right now. And I want someplace where can I get all of the courses? So this is like 50 courses with one investment. Look at all the courses. So it's, and you can't read that. It's probably too small and you don't have your readers on right now. So I'm going to tell you everything that's in here, but it's literally 50 mini courses from the top experts, the experts who we used to grow our business. So rather than me saying, like hiding these people, if I had someone who like totally blew my mind open and taught me how to become a New York Times bestseller, or I had someone who basically knows how to help my members become at the very top of their game for network marketing, then I asked them to create their mini course and put it inside this one academy. So it's all in one place. It's thousands of dollars of courses at your fingertips, but you don't have to am I clear on that? You don't have to finish all of them. Like some of them you'll never even touch. I know this is a true story. I know so many people that are already six-figure earners, and they're like, Chalene, I'm kind of embarrassed. I probably went through, I don't know, 7 or 8 courses. And I'm like, what's there to be embarrassed about? Like, that's awesome. I don't want you wasting time going through something you don't need. And it's all of the steps in the right order. So there's some content that I don't give, I'm going to be honest, I don't give you initially, because I know you'll be like, I don't give you the social media stuff right away, because I know you. I don't give you the podcasting stuff right away, because I know you. I don't give you like the things that you're like, that you really have no business doing until you have the foundational pieces set up. This is an academy. It's a resource that if you have no idea, or you're trying to like figure out if it's a good idea, this will serve you. Or if you already have a business, but it's not scaling, this will serve you. And if I may, every single step of the way, again, this really is going to help those of you who have a brain like mine. Like, I was not a great student. I wanted a playbook, so I created one. How this does not exist, I don't know. How it did not exist before this, right? So you can go to Georgetown Business School and you're not going to get this. You're going to get, you know what you're going to get? Sorry, no offense if you're a Georgetown professor or a business school professor. You're going to get some old dude who's never done anything on the internet, who's like, what is this Instagram reeling thing? Like, no. This is literally how you, and you, as you go through each lesson, because if you're like me, I would watch a webinar like this and I would be like, oh, that was so good. I get it. And then I would be like, what was I supposed to do? I was so distracted by her puffy sleeves. What was I supposed to do? I knew I was supposed to do something, and then I couldn't remember because I have ADHD. So I was like, I need a lesson plan that when people are going through the lesson, you're writing it out. So you not only know what you're supposed to do, but you have the information so that the next time you have to do it, you don't have to figure it out. Like, so for example, I mean, like, you literally will figure out by answering the questions as you're going through each one of these lessons, like you'll figure out what your niche is because you're too close to it right now. So you're going to let me ask you the questions. You're going to figure out your brand. You're going to figure out your expertise. And it's all in order so that, like, when you lose interest or life gets in the way, which it will, 1,000% life is going to get in the way. Something's going to happen with one of your kids tomorrow and you're like, I just had to take a break. and you won't get lost. So that's what happened to me. It's like I'd be like, where did I leave off? What was I supposed to do next? I can't remember. I'm so overwhelmed. What was I supposed to do? You just pick up where you left off. But here's the deal. This isn't meant to be finished. It's like almost every single lesson, there is a jump off and now go do this, and you'll probably start making money. Okay. And as soon as you start making money, that's the momentum. I'm really just trying to shove you out of the nest and get you to get out of Marketing Impact Academy and start making money, because nothing gives you more confidence, momentum, ideas, clarity than making money online. Nothing. It's better than any course, any mentor, any business coach. Sorry, it's a fact. As soon as you start making money, you're going to be like, I'm getting clarity. Now I'm really starting to get it. And so that's why but it's always there for you, because maybe you're going to be like, okay, but now I do want to learn how to do X, Y, Z. Well, it's always there for you. Okay. This is the right steps in the right order. It's for people who are easily distracted. Here's what we cover. Can you see this? These are some of the mini courses. And again, pop quiz. Do you have to finish even a 10th of these? No. But I've set it up so that the first actually, I shouldn't say 4 weeks, because you could literally, if you were a baller, you could get it done, the foundational pieces, in like 5 days if you took time off of social media. So be a baller. But there's no way you would do it if you're also trying to post all day and consume content. Okay, so these are just some of the courses, so I want you to know what's in there. Okay, do you need me to read these, or can you read them? You can screenshot it. What I don't want this content to do is to overwhelm you. That's why I just keep saying, I don't want you to do all of this. I want you to just do what we call our quick start, which is getting the quick start. And everyone has to start with this. If you don't already have a business set up, it's your email list, it's your freemiums, it's your niche, it's your website, it's knowing what type of corporation you want to file and when you need to file it, if you do need to file it. It's understanding like the business basics before you go running off to social media, before you go running off to start your podcast, before you go running off and wasting time. Like, get the things in place that create passive income for you. Okay. But that's not all it is. Like I said, the playbook, I think, is, I don't know why we say it's $197 value. I think it's $197,000 value. I swear. We don't sell it. Like, only our members are able to buy it. Our community is invaluable. I can't tell you how many partnerships have been formed there, how many people are like, the community is what helped me to name my product, what helped me to realize that I didn't need to do this as an online course. I could do it as a live webinar, like so many cool things. I go live with our groups every single month. We do 1 to 2 trainings that are really specific to the content and challenges that we put our members through challenges because I think really creative, easily distracted people need accountability, and I don't see the point of spending, another $5,000, another $2,000, another $2,500, another $10,000 to like new course, or waste hundreds of thousands of dollars to get, sorry, no offense, to get an MBA. Like, what? How is that going to help you? So I wanted to make this super duper affordable. You can go and get it on my website it's priced at $5,176. Now, I follow the Coco Chanel model, and Coco Chanel increases their prices twice a year. So do we. But Coco Chanel does it just to push to see what the price threshold is. That's not why we do it. We increase our prices twice a year because we add so much freaking content, like more courses. So it continues to be more valuable, and you never have to pay more. You never will upgrade. Like once you're in for good. We only open up enrollment twice a year. Lori and Chris, I did this webinar for them, the podcast for them last week. And they're like, so, when does your academy open again? And I said, not till May. But they're like, well, if you could teach this social media stuff. I said, listen, we'll just let the people who are on your webinar, we'll let those people in early. And we'll also give them a special rate. We'll give them a rate where they can just make the first payment of $375 and join. Like, so that's, you would make, it's a payment plan, right? So you would make 8 payments in total, but like to start, to like get going this weekend and be that baller that I talked about, like who's going to take a break from social media and get your basics set up. You can pay $375 and start like tonight. Of course, like I said, I want to be very clear, that's 8 payments, right? And I put the link up there. It's loriharder.com/impact. And again, it's not open to the public. So if you go to my website after this, you'll get the $5,000 price. But if you use Lori and Chris's link here right now, come back and comment in the chat. I use their link and you will automatically get an email from me and I'll share with you everything you're going to get. Okay. So you're going to get lifetime access. You'll never pay. We just added a whole thing on ChatGPT, which will blow your freaking mind. You don't pay $1 more. Like once you're in for life. It's kind of crazy. Okay. You're going to get that quick start that literally, we say 14 days, but if you're a baller and you take a break from social, you'll get through it in like 4 days. We also have, I think, one of the most popular courses we have right now, mini courses, which I'll give you early because I know you're like, okay, $375, I can handle that right now, but I need to start making money so I can make my next payment. So I give you some of the mini courses that are like guaranteed to make you money if you follow through. Just getting the course doesn't make you money. You have to do it. You have to follow the steps, right? But like one of those is how to get partnerships, how to get brand deals with a very small following, because the brands want small followings, right? Like one of our members under 10,000 followers got a $7,000 sponsorship from Kate Spade. Another one under 20,000 followers, a $35,000 single post from Urban Outfitters. Like what the what? Yeah. So brand deals, you'll get that fast and early because I know you need to make the money back. Okay. And this is because we talked about Instagram tonight. So anyone who joins today, like right now, this is again, if you join afterwards, like on my website, which is great. I mean, I'll still take care of you, obviously, right? You still get lifetime access, but only people who use Chris and Lori's link will give you an Instagram bio review, which means I'm going to pull up your Instagram. We're going to go through your Instagram. We're going to figure out like, okay, where are things off? Like what posts do we need to delete? What do we need to clean up? What do we need to change? How do we, I mean, it's fun for me to do this. It's fun for our team to do this. Like we love pouring over people's Instagrams going like, oh, this is fun. This is going to be so easy. But you're usually too close to your own content to realize like what isn't interesting and isn't helping your account grow. So if you join today, you'll automatically get that Instagram bio, a review. Okay, and then as I said, there is a payment plan, right? $375. But for those of you who are like, I'm an all-in kind of girl or guy, and also I know that I believe you because you're from Michigan. I believe you because you have ADHD. No, I believe you, but I don't know if I will follow through. Like I'm the part that I'm concerned about. Like if that's you and you need accountability, the biggest way to have personal accountability is to go all in, right? Like there's a different mindset that happens when you're like, I'm not making payments on this. Like I need this to be almost a little bit painful, where it's an investment. And so I need to take it seriously. So making the payment in full, you'll get a huge discount. That's a great savings. But I personally think what's even more motivating for people is accountability. So for anyone who goes all in, right? And you make the full payment, I'm going to put you in our 8-week accountability coaching group and it will blow your mind. So you will have someone who's keeping track of making sure for 8 weeks, you're doing your assignments. You got your email list up and oh my God, it's insane. Like this in and of itself is friggin' priceless. Okay. So again, for anyone who does just a single payment, which saves you $500. So then that brings your, like the total we're talking about is $24.97. So you would get the 8-week accountability, and this, everyone gets this as a download, but if you do the single payment, I'll ship you the book. So you don't have to like download it and put it in your own 3-ring binder. I'll actually ship you this embossed playbook. Okay. So that's for anyone who's like, I'm going all in. That little QR code, you can hold your phone up to it and it'll take you right to Lori and Chris's link. And again, you know, listen, we're friends. We snowboard together. They're the funniest people. They're the funnest people. I know that their community means the world to them. And so when they said, is there any way we can do this? It's like, well, yeah, of course we can. We'll definitely find a way. But again, we don't open up to the public until May. So there you go. There's your price if you want to pay for it all at once. Again, however, if you can't swing that and you're like, I need to do the payments, I'm going to take care of you. You'll still get the download of the playbook. Okay. And you could always later say, you know, now I made the money. Like I did it. I set everything up and I'm making money with your online income quick start. And so I've got the investment to upgrade to the full payment. You can do that. We're like the best customer service people on the planet. So we're also going to give you like $25,000 worth of bonuses. Like you're going to be blown away with all of the additional content and courses and the resources and how we just continually put new content so you don't have to go out and buy another course. But yeah, I don't want to take my word for it. First of all, I want to share with you some of what happened with our people who do the accountability. So this is Jenna. Jenna doubled her monthly income with just one digital product. Then she went from 1 to 5 employees. She went from 0 views to 1.5 on Pinterest. That's insane. Janet also used our accountability group, and she was like, you know, I didn't have friends who were entrepreneurs who could like help me with the kinds of things that I needed. So, you know, public speaker, like really learned how to kickstart her business. Okay, so this is a great example of Danielle Erickson. When she joined, you guys listen, when she joined, she had no idea what she was going to start. No clue. Didn't have any idea what kind of business. She figured out, we helped her figure out her niche, helped her figure out how to be profitable. And now she makes way more money doing what she loves. I'm going to share, I want to get you a couple of really interesting ones. Okay, this one's crazy. So Greg Todd, this is someone who had, you know, he's a physical therapist, but he wasn't making money unless he was at the office, like seeing clients. So with MIA, he figured out how in just like 8 months, how to make more than it usually took him 6 months or 6 years to earn, I should say. This guy has blown up. Like this is one of my favorite kind of stories where someone just like, now he's doing his own events. Now he's teaching other physical therapists how to do what he does. You know, like that's really freaking cool. Renee Paulson, she launched her first course in less than 4 weeks. Her second course more than doubled the profits of her first. She grew her social media by more than 800%. What the what? She's now a keynote speaker. Chastity, her story is so good too. Like, so this is a gal who already had a brick and mortar business, right? So she had like a skincare, waxing business, right? But it was stuck. Like what it was costing her money. Like she was at a precipice where she's like, do I close my doors and do something else, go back to work for somebody else? But she learned how to attract her niche. Her ideal avatar is women who struggle with their body image, women who, you know, are considered by society's norms like heavier or overweight. And now she's on pace to make 6 figures and only working 4 days a week. Like that makes me so happy because she'd already found her joy. You know what I mean? It just wasn't making her money. So we taught her how to make money with it. Sean Cannell is now one of our professors. At the time when he joined MIA, he was a pastor. YouTube was a hobby. Now he's got like the #1 book on YouTube. He's over $1 million earner. Huge speaking gigs. Like he just had Gary Vaynerchuk speaking on his stage. Like, I know some of these stories can be like, this is insane. Like it's really intimidating to hear like these big stories, but there's also people who are just figuring out how to make 5 figures and keeping their job. Like I don't want anyone to quit. If you've got a job, I don't know if you guys have ever heard the story about Wisnick, who started Apple, right? Like you always hear these stories about him starting his business in his garage. But recently, I think it was an interview from 2014. He said, well, the truth is, I actually didn't start in my garage. I started it in my cubicle while I was working for Hewlett Packard. Like, if you've got a job, don't quit your job. Keep your job. Just cut back on your social media. Build this to the point where you're, because I don't want you to do something that's scary. I want you to do something that pushes you, that you know you need to do, that you also feel like it's not time and you're not ready. That's like a really good sign that it is time. Because by the time someone realizes like, oh, okay, now it's time, then it's too late. You know what I mean? Like the worst thing you can do is wait for the perfect day, the perfect time. Well, I'm going to wait until I have more money. When my business is making more money, then I'll join Marketing Impact Academy. I'm like, I didn't create it for those people. Marketing Impact is for people who are, I can't afford not to do this. I can't afford not to have accountability. I can't afford to keep spinning my wheels and being distracted and watching other people who I know have no clue. I'm smarter than them. I'm cuter than them. No, I'm just joking. But like you see these people, you're like, I don't get it. How? Why? Because they just started. Because they weren't afraid to get it wrong. Legit. And so who is this not for? Let me just say this, okay? Because I want to be really clear about this. This is not for you if you already have over 100 employees. The Marketing Impact Academy is not for you if you need a lot of motivation and you don't believe in yourself. You're like, I could never do it. This is not for you. Because I won't drag somebody along. I can't care. I can't believe in you more than you do. This is for someone who says, I have doubt, because everybody does, but I know I can follow steps. And I know if someone gives me the right steps and I just get I can do a little bit and I'll follow through on the steps, then it's for you. But I don't want anyone feeling like they have to talk themselves into it. If you have that nervousness, you know what that is. If you've got 10% of you that's like, I know I could be a badass entrepreneur, just 10% of you thinks that, and the other 90% is like, I'm not sure. It's for you. It's for that person who's like, I don't know what it is, but I know I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm doing right now. Like I know there's something, I just don't know what that is, and I need someone to tell me what it is. It's for you, because I'll help you figure that out. But you have to be willing, true story, you have to be willing to make it messy. It's not going to be cute. Like the only way, and I've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs. I've met hundreds of entrepreneurs. I haven't met one yet who, like, the first thing that they did is what they're doing today. Like the first thing they did was just like kind of messy and like, oh man, well, at least I did it. And it evolves into this like cool thing. But you have to be willing to like trust the process and let it evolve and let it be messy and typos and, oh my God, that's horrible. I'm so embarrassed, but it made me a few bucks. Like you have to be willing to do that. If you are paralyzed by perfectionism, it wouldn't be very honest of me to tell you that you're cut out for entrepreneurship. Like if you're paralyzed by getting everything perfect, I think you'd make a great employee. I think you, like we all, and I don't mean that like as a negative, like I need those kinds of people on my team. They're incredibly valuable and I'll keep promoting them. I'll keep paying them more money. But they know, like you know, if you're not cut out for getting something wrong. For me, I don't care if I get something wrong. I'll get over it. It won't kill me. What will kill me is somebody else telling me what to do, when to do it, how to do it, when I can take a vacation. That will literally, I would rather stick a knife in my eye. I can't. So it's like, which pain can you tolerate? I can't tolerate. I need total autonomy. I need to make my own mess. I need to make my own life. I need to make my own schedule. I want to work with who I want to work with. I want to do it my way. And if that resonates with you, then this is what you need. All right. I'm going to put that link back up on the screen in case you didn't get it. And I'd love to know if you are a new member, if you're someone who's like, okay, I'm down, I'm doing this. Like, I can't wait to have you guys review my Instagram. I can't wait to dig in. I can't wait to figure out what my niche is. I want that playbook. I'm all in. There's the link. It's in our chat right now, but I'll also put it up on the screen. And in the meantime, I'll answer. I did promise I would answer any questions for you. So I'm here for you to answer any of those questions, anything at all. I'll be as honest as possible.
Chalene, you are the freaking greatest. First of all, thank you
Aw.
for the hour of teaching. I realize I'm doing everything wrong, and I now understand. Like, I'm that person. I'm like, why isn't this freaking working better? And my brother's going to kill me because he's been telling us to use ManyChat forever.
Oh,
And now we will. And
oh,
the old
game
thing when your
changer.
wife or someone else tells you to do something, you don't do it, but then
Oh,
someone else does, you
absolutely.
do it.
Oh, absolutely. Your kids are a great example of that, man. I tell
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Guilty. You said you'll take a couple questions. That's like
Yes.
overly kind of you. Let's do, if they raise their electronic hand, should we do it that way? And then I can unmute them.
Sure.
All right. Awesome. So let's see. Deb Rubin, your electronic hand is up. You want me to unmute you?
Did you want to ask a question?
Yes. By the way, when you guys, thank you. When you ask a question, real easy rules.
Thank you, Joe.
My name is, and my question is, and just finish that sentence. No backstory. Chalene will do a great job of getting the backstory that's needed. I promise. All right, Deb, I'm going to unmute you first. Go ahead.
My name is Deb, and my question is, if the CTA is not link in bio, what do you recommend to use as a CTA when you are offering things? Would you stick with
A word.
a word or a DM?
Word.
DM me for blah,
I
blah?
wouldn't even say a word. I would say, I wouldn't even say DM, because now we're asking them to leave your feed and go to your DMs. I would just say, leave me a word. And then that gives you, that's like the signal that like, yeah, send me a DM. They're telling you that they're inviting you to DM them. So I would use a word. And I would say, like, if you want to know more, DM me the word, like the gal in the example, she said, comment the word guides below. So I'm not sure what it is you offer, Deb, but like, just use a simple word and let people comment that. Because
Okay.
it'll get you engagement, it gets you comments, and it creates a conversation.
You say comment the word blank and I'll send you the thing.
No,
I'll DM you the thing.
just say you can, but more often than not, I will say if you want more information or if you have questions. So it kind of depends on what the post is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great question.
Deb follows
Kimberly,
rules.
good to see you. You're next.
Oh, hey guys.
Hi.
So Chris Harder is my my business coach. First of all, my name is Kimberly Valerie. My question is, inside of this marketing academy, is it more geared to people wanting to build online business? I have there's kind of two things that we do. We're building a big franchise that's going to include a big marketing piece, but also our partners are going to require marketing education. That involves both. Plus I have the kind of the SEO ads, like all that kind of stuff, along with then my husband and I are doing kind of some personal branding online coach stuff that I haven't really got my fingers into yet, but so I got kind of these two things. So I'm curious.
So that's why I try to share some examples of people who have physical like brick and mortar businesses. Quite a few of those. So it helps anyone who needs more eyeballs, more customers, right? So any brick and mortar business, if they're not leveraging online marketing, they're missing a huge segment of the population, right? So it's geared towards anyone who wants more customers. But what we're teaching you how to do is how to use online tools to get more customers in your store. So to answer your question also about branding. So one of the things I think is incredibly valuable about the Marketing Impact Academy is we worked with a branding coach for almost 2 years, spent $250,000 and she helped us to create a branding deck, asking us the questions about colors and fonts and imagery and messaging and tone and voice and things that we wouldn't say and would say, all of those things, packaging. And we broke all of that down into a template. And we give it to our Marketing Impact Academy students. So you create your own branding deck, and that alone will save you tens of thousands of dollars and so much headache by just finishing that branding deck yourself, by going through the questions and giving it to your, you can give it to your business coach, you can give it to a web designer, you can give it to, anyone who's working on your team and you want them to understand your brand.
Okay.
Thank you. Jill, thank you for your compliment. That was really sweet.
Kim, great question. Kelly Chase, you're up.
I'm coming. Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sure can.
Okay, perfect. I don't know if you could see my face or not. Okay, so I have a following. So I was going to ask, and maybe I just missed this maybe in the webinar, but I have a very large following, close to 400,000 people. But I don't.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't know my audience though, because my audience came from a reality show and not them are my niche, what I really want to be talking to.
Yep. So what's your question?
So my question is, how do you get to know and like engage in your audience in a mass way versus being so niche?
Okay, so what was your first name again?
Kelly Chase.
Kelly. Okay, so Kelly, do you know what it is you want to sell, or is it your influence? Like brand?
Well, yeah, I mean, I have like life coaching and like health and life coaching, digital courses and one-on-one coaching, that kind of thing. But also I want to do influence stuff.
Okay. I love it. No, this totally makes sense. Okay. So here's what you need to do is you need to figure out what it is that's attracting people to your page, right? Like, so what's the content that people are looking for? They keep coming back to watch it. Right? And that becomes your niche on your reels or on your feed page, right? In your stories, I want you to just share all of your life, like every piece of it. And you're going to see that a percentage of your followers they won't follow your stories, but they aren't your customers. We don't care.
Right.
Like they just followed you because they saw you on a show or whatever. But the ones who are like, no, I'm invested. Like I want a piece of her. I want my life to be like her. I want to look like her. I want to live like her. I want to know all the things. They are showing up for all the things. So they're going to want to buy your digital course. They're going to want you to coach them. They're also going to want to know like where you got your blouse and what color, what is that lip color you're wearing. They're going to want to know all those things. And so you just like really understand that that's what they're looking for in stories, but it's a dialogue. So one thing I didn't go into too much depth on tonight, but I want to share this with you is at least once a day, post the sticker question. And rather than saying, ask me anything, ask them a question. Ask them, why do you follow me? Ask them, what was the last thing that you bought and you've got buyer's remorse over? Like, just ask them the kinds of questions you would ask your girlfriend or you would ask someone out on a date. And you're going to really start to see some themes and you're going to start to understand your audience. You're going to start to create connections. And they're going to realize like, oh, she's just not here to like broadcast us. She really wants to know us.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
That's brilliant. Good question. Good answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
all right. Chalene, do you have time for the last two?
Yes, I want to say thank you to Diane who said, Chalene, your brutal honesty was invaluable.
That's one of our favorite things about you, both you and Brett. Like you guys just say it like it is and you are as real as it comes. And so you always know where you stand and you always know you're getting truth, Okay, so let's go with Caitlin. All right, Caitlin, you there?
It's like a radio show.
Sorry, you there? Caitlin McHugh.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Oh, hi. Okay. Kind of sorry. I think I'm starting and stopping videos.
There we go.
Thank you so much. Two quick questions. One is I have a business partner that I'm very interested in what you're offering today, but I would need to run it by her. And she's also on East Coast time with 2 small children. So I definitely wouldn't be able to speak with her tonight.
Yeah.
So that was just one.
Yeah, I should say this. We have a 14-day full money back guarantee. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Great.
if you were to like, oh, I need to take advantage of it, and then you talk to her tomorrow and she's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
questions asked.
Lovely. And then sort of
Yeah.
it's a separate business. It's my main business, which is I do interiors and remodels, like anything
Ah.
human scale spaces. And so I've been trying
Wait,
to,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you said human scale?
yeah, like I do set, I'm part-time between Park City and Los Angeles. And so I work on sets and
Oh, okay.
the production design, any sort of like events and staging, but mostly I do
My ears.
structures. Yeah.
Okay.
But so, and I loved what you said too. I think it was Kim or someone who asked about growing up brick and mortar.
Yep.
But I was wondering if you felt like there were things in your course, sorry,
Mhm.
school, academy, that's it,
Mhm.
that help with the creation of, because I that sort of like passive income, like my job is definitely like every minute of my time is how I
Are
make.
both businesses that way? Are both business services based?
No, the other businesses are products. One is food and
Okay.
beverage, and the
Okay.
other is clothing.
And so if I'm understanding correctly, your design and interior business is if you're not working, you're not getting paid, and you'd love to find a way to make that passive income.
Yes.
Well, you're just sitting pretty. Like, do you like? Oh my God, you're just the perfect person to create a course. Like, so many people want to know the elements of, first of all, throwing an amazing party. Like, how do I don't want to go to school for this. Show me how to throw an amazing party. Tell me how. Like, where do I get the resources? How do I know how to find vendors? How do I know how much to pay them? How do I be the wedding coordinator for my daughter and save myself $20,000, right? Like, how do I don't want to go to interior design school and I can't afford an interior designer. But listen, I would love to pay you $500 for your course to show me how to make my house look like an interior designer did it, and give me the resources that, like, where do I buy the furniture? Where do I get these things? Where do I get the dupes? Like, oh my God. Like,
Okay.
if you have any little bit of expertise, people will pay for that. We have taught people how to create courses who are vocalists, people. One of my favorite success stories. She has a $1 million academy. Are you ready for this? Teaching people how to doodle.
I love it.
She makes over $1 million teaching people how to friggin' doodle. It's insane. How to knit, how to play guitar. God, just about softball, like, but something like interior design, like not everyone, but almost everyone wishes their house looked like an interior designer had their handprint all over it.
Okay, so you think some course creation tools are somewhere in the academy?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, we've got tons of course. We just took our students through a challenge, walking them through from the idea, developing the name for it, and all the way to the end of creating it, and then how to market it.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So from nuts to bolts.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
That took a little longer than I planned, but I appreciate it.
I bet you answered a lot of questions for other people, though.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah,
Great
that's a great question. Everyone can learn from that. Okay, we had Abe and Chris with their hand up.
Hi, Chalene.
Hi.
Okay, so my name is Carissa, and my question is two-part. How do you have a suggestion on how many stories we should share in a given day, like a day to day? And the second part is, so what's your recommendation? Like, I love sharing about me, my marriage, my family, and my lifestyle. We work from home. And how often should I mention what I do or my business or promote it? What's your take on that?
That's a good question. Both great questions. So first of all, how often should you post? A lot. But never like, there are days, I'm sure this is true for everybody, where I'm like, I have nothing interesting to say. I have nothing interesting going on. I'm not in the mood and I don't have anything I want to share. I don't post on those days. Like, keep it authentic. But there are other days where I'm like, oh my God, I just found this super cute mug and I got this new light that was really cheap and it's smaller than a ring light and I want to tell people about it. Like, so there are days where I go haywire, and that's okay. So make it authentic, but I always ask myself, is this going to be interesting or valuable to people? Or is it just like me promoting myself? But if I can entertain people and there's something of value, then I'm sharing it. So a lot of times here's how I do this, you guys. I will say, if I'm thinking it to myself, should I say it to, and I wish there was someone in my car to say it to, I just remember, I just have to open up stories and tell my friends. Like, think of your stories as your friends. So don't say things like, hey guys, because now people are like, wait, I want it to feel like personal. I want you to hold up your phone and be like, okay, girl, I need to tell you this. Like, okay, I have to tell you something. Like, it should feel very friendly. It should feel very much like we're having a conversation one-on-one versus to a community. And when you say you talk about your family and friends and your business, as long as you're having a dialogue. So ask your audience questions like, let's say you show them like what you are making for dinner with your family, then post a sticker on there and that says, how many nights per week do you sit down as a family? Give people the opportunity to chime in, to share what, not like to relate or to not relate to what it is you're posting about. And then lastly, to answer your question about how often you should share your stuff, if you're sharing other things regularly, then you can share your own thing just as regularly. So because I share it on my stories on a typical day, I'm sharing like 2 to 3 other valuable things, like maybe I found on Amazon or that make my life easier. Because I do that, then at least once a day, I'm sharing something that either I sell or that is an intentional way to put people on my email list. So almost every day you're going to see me finding a way to invite people onto my email list, because your email list is where the passive income is. It's where your deepest customers, the smartest people that follow you, the people who are like the 3%ers, they're the ones who are like, yeah, I'll give you my email address because I want to know how to do that. Thank you for your question.
Hey, real quick before we take the very last
Great
one here,
question.
Chalene, Marie asked in comments, she said, how long do you have access to everything after they purchase?
For life.
For life. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
And
that's what
until
makes
you,
it dope.
until
Like
you
you're adding
die.
the AI thing in, you're adding, this thing
Yeah.
grows and changes
Yeah.
over time.
Yep. No, we have members. This is my favorite thing. We have members who've been in there now for 11 years, and they started with us when we had our original price point, and they're still in shock that they're like, they're almost embarrassed. Like, do you have a mini course now on Shopify? We're like, yeah. And they're like, how much is the upgrade? I'm like, there's no upgrade. Once you're in, you never upgrade. You're in for life. And even though we raise the price for new members twice a year, but for existing members, like once you're done, you never have to pay again.
So freaking awesome. I think it's the only one I know where it keeps growing real time like that.
Yeah.
And people get to stay in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say the coolest thing is that you guys put so much time into all of your research and data. And I'm always like, oh my God, Chris and I don't do that. So we have to learn from people like you, because we're like in different parts of the business. So I love knowing that you guys are constantly
Thank you for
doing
saying that, Lori. But to be completely fair, to be transparent, I should say, is there, when I first built this idea, it was myself and a few other experts that I was relying on. And I very quickly realized, like, there's so much. I need, like, all the people who I'm hiring, like the experts who I'm paying tens of thousands of dollars to, I need to ask them to create courses. And so that, because I can't be an expert at all these things.
Right.
I can't do all this research. So like, the research we have on YouTube is from Sean Cannell. The research we have on TikTok is from Kenya Kelly, who's the TikTok expert, and her mini courses in there. The research we have on podcasting is from Pat Flynn and his courses in there. So it's us tapping into just a world of great, the best experts.
It's awesome.
It's brilliant. All right. So I know that we reached the end of questions, but I see 2 more hands. Are you going to kill us if we take 2 more? No more?
Let's do it. It's my
All
favorite.
right, 2 more, no more raising your hands. Liz and then Joni.
Congratulations, Diane.
Thanks, Chalene. So my name is Liz Garcia, and my question, you briefly touched on this tonight, is how do you gain clarity with so many options out there, right? Like, it's a big toolbox of options. So how do you gain the clarity in addition to taking the action to finding that one tool to get you to that next level? and making sure it's in alignment with your beliefs and your passions.
Okay, so you asked for the one tool. Do you mean, to clarify your question, are you looking for a tool, or are you looking for what is my niche, what is my thing?
All right, try it again. Liz.
Oh, sorry about that, Chris. More so, especially in the personal development space, there's so many different routes that you can take, whether it is the email list. How do you find clarity on your next step without spending, the thousands on the courses, and
MIA.
without spending your time creating a course when it wasn't in alignment? And I know action is where you're going to find the clarity, but what other suggestions do you
it
have?
is by doing things in the right order. It's by eliminating all the noise. It's by not, like, for those of you who have joined, we're going to do a kickoff call. And if you thought I was like bossy pants tonight, wait till you are inside the academy. Because the first thing I tell you to do is to shut everybody up. Like, you need to stop listening to all the podcasts, stop listening to all the experts, stop watching all of the YouTube videos, stop taking in all the Instagram, because all it's doing is making your brain explode. And I'm going to teach you to do the right next step, the very next right step, and not to worry about what's 5 steps later. Like, and there's a checklist, and you will get it in your playbook. And if you haven't done the next step, then you don't move to the next assignment. Like, it's in the right order, and it's the same regardless of the business that you build. As I've said, once you understand the formula, the recipe is the same. It's just rinse and repeat. Making your first $1 million is hard. But once you understand the formula, then it's just like, okay, I get it. I do. Every single person I've ever worked with, the system of getting started is the same. It's once you've figured out what it is, who it is you're selling to, and what it is you're going to sell them, then it's just a matter of blowing it up with the marketing. But most people skip those first steps. They're looking for that special thing, like, oh, so if I start a YouTube, that'll explode everything. No. Build the foundation, get the foundation in the right steps first. And I don't at all fault you for feeling this way. I would say probably 90% of people, maybe higher, maybe 95% of people feel this way. It's because we're inundated with people who are pretend experts, and they've got a huge following. So we think, oh, that must be success. But they haven't built anything. They haven't done anything. They haven't built a business. They haven't sold a product. All they've done is sold the fact that they've got a big following. They haven't done anything. And that can be really, really confusing and overwhelming. And if you're someone who's like looking for that thing, it all distracts you. And I quiet the noise and show you, here's the next right step.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great question. Okay, last but not least, Joni, you're up.
Thank you. My name is Joni, and I may have missed this, but you shared with us what to share in our stories. Somehow I missed, what is the most valuable thing for us to put in our feed posts?
Yes, no problem. Joni, so your feed post needs to be specifically on niche. So it should only be content, assuming you're trying to grow your following. Okay. It's different if you already have a big following, like, Kelly, for example, she might not be necessarily trying to grow her following, but if you are trying to grow your following, then it's very important that your content solves a specific problem for a very, very specific group of people, and it's never off niche. Then what you're doing is, Alicia, congratulations. Then as you're posting your content on niche, you want to post content that leaves people asking questions, leaves people very curious, because it didn't give them all the information. So for example,
that when you gave the examples, with the curiosity, the behind the scenes, those were the examples for the niche posts in the feed?
Yes. So for example, remember the gal who sells a journal for Jewish women?
Mm-hmm.
All she posts about is content specifically for women whose faith is they're Jewish by faith, and they're really trying to become more devout in their practice. And so her feed posts only speak to that woman.
Got it.
However, in her stories, she posts about everything.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Chris and Lori.
Literally our pleasure. The thanks goes to Chalene, though. I mean, 2 hours teaching, answering
Oh my
questions.
gosh, has it really been 2 hours?
We're learning.
Well, Lori and I are watching this, because like Lori said, she's like, I'm about to drop a physical product.
Mhm.
I'm going to watch
yeah.
this to see how I can sell better with the physical product, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can forget, and there's also a lot of updates and so much changes. So yeah, this was super helpful.
And the
Yeah,
fact
and
that
it does, it changes so fast. And that's why I think people can get really like caught in the trap of social media, because it's like you just thought you figured it out, and then you're like, oh, I'm so depressed, like it's crickets, what am I doing wrong?
Yep. It's funny. You're going to see the 3-story template, the 5-story template. I actually have something to follow now. And they're so simple. You see, you're like, oh, duh. But
Yeah.
I've got something to follow. I love it. And the fact that you were just kind enough to be able to say, hey, I know this course normally 5,000 something, and cut it in half for everybody. It's just how you guys show up. Thank you for that. That means the world. That you make it
and I'm glad that
accessible.
you mentioned the templates, because that's how I learn. And so if that kind of imagery and like seeing like, okay, show me how do I can figure out how to do this for myself, but I need the template. That is my jam. That is my jam. Like, I need pictures, I need images, I need examples, I need anecdotes, and then I need the lesson plan. Like I need, okay, now I'm going to forget because I was distracted. So tell me exactly what that is. And that's why it's really designed for people whose brain works that way.
Yeah.
Because there are other people, like they can just hear something and they know what to do. My brain doesn't work that way. Like I need to see pictures, I need to see a template, I need to see examples, and I need to see the steps.
Yeah, I just need a set of tracks to run on. I'll run hard. I just need to see a set of tracks to run on.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Want to do some takeaways in the comments?
Yeah. So guys, the very last thing we do, get in comments and like share your favorite takeaway, give back to Chalene. This is a way that we say thank you so that she can see the impact that she made. Something you
I'm ready
learned,
to
something you'll do
screenshot.
different. Yeah, let her screenshot it because it means the world.
Let us know if you're going to do it.
Hi,
Yes.
Stacy.
Okay, I want to share some of mine too, though. I love. So Chalene, while you're reading that, like I am such a template person, because by the time I sit down, I feel like I'm overwhelmed and don't really know what to do or post. So for me to just be able to follow something and go, oh, that's right. Okay, this is how I talk about it. This is how it works. And then this is how we're going to communicate. It's huge for me. I literally this last week, even after our podcast, you can go and look at some of my stuff. I've already done it and it worked. It really works.
Right? Yeah.
We're all fast learners, but someone has to show you how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are doing.
What to stop doing. That's good. Work smarter, not harder. Love that.
I know. Aren't these great? This is the best part when you actually see what people's takeaways are.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Every time we teach into someone's group or something, we're like, this is the best part.
Yeah. Oh, this is fun.
Will it be recorded? Yeah, we'll send out the recording to everybody.
Yeah, Marie, I feel you.
Well, Chalene, we can't say thank you enough. You're the best. You're a dear, dear friend. You show up all the time, and you showed up for our community, and that means a lot.
Thanks. I want to say thank you to everybody who had their cameras on. It's so cute to see everyone's cute faces. Liz, I just love your hair. And we've got like, oh, Mel's here, and Abe and Carissa. It must be date night. They're like, let's do a webinar for date night. Amy's got that beautiful smile. Like I listen, if you don't have your lashes on, I understand why the camera might not be on, but like, look at Chris in all red. I love it. So thank you guys for inviting me to spend this. I mean, you just gave me the most valuable thing you can give me, which is your time. You can't get it back. So I hope that I delivered. I hope if there's any additional questions, send me a DM. I always see when people respond to my question boxes. I don't always see all my DMs, but I always see all the question boxes. And of course, you know, I appreciate the follow and I appreciate all the compliments.
Love it. Love it. Love it. You're the best. Thank you. Can't wait to see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much, you guys. And thanks to everyone who
Good
joined.
night, everybody. Thank you.